Hi, welcome into this MJ Capital Funding review, where I'm going to be going in depth to show you all there is to know about this merchant cash advance company, the latest news around it, such as this Ponzi scheme, if that's true, what's wrong about them, the future outlook, as well as the alternatives if you are a small business owner looking for fast funding and all different types of funding options. I'll be going ahead and revealing that. So stick with me till the end of this video because you're going to get some amazing content here. Before I get started, if this is the first time you're watching me, I do come out with videos like this on different funding opportunities, programs, ways for you as a small business owner to continue to build, grow, expand, and even get out of a tight pinch, as well as other opportunities. So if you don't want to miss a single future video I come out with, go ahead and subscribe and click on the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss a future video I come out with. Now let's get right into it. So I tried accessing the MJ Capital Funding site. Unfortunately, it was a redirect to this page, and that's why I have it opened now. And I'm going to get into what's been happening with them. So as you can see on the left side here, it says notice these two different domains with MJ Taxes and More have been shut down, and the domains names have been turned over by court order. I know when I first saw that, my thought process was, what's going on? Like, can I get a merchant cash advance through them? Can I get an alternative? Where else should I go? So here it is. On August 12th, 2021, so just recently, the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida entered an order in an action filed by the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC for short, appointing, and I'm not going to say the names here just for that, as the receiver over MJ Capital Funding, LLC, and MJ Taxes and More. The SEC's complaint alleges that this person's name has used MJ Capital Funding, LLC, and MJ Taxes and More, Inc. to perpetrate a Ponzi scheme by which investors have been tricked into thinking they are funding loans to these small business owners just like yourself, when in reality that their returns have been funded with money obtained from new investors. So that's a huge deal. If you don't know what a Ponzi scheme is, it's basically where you have these new investors looking at a company, for this example, merchant cash advance. So these new investors wanted to put their money into them, trusting them that they would get a return. And what happens is when they put the money in with them, these people, the owners, then turned it around and then started paying off their old investors. So they already had people in, but they needed more money, more capital to continue to grow, and they weren't getting the right returns. And that's why there was an investigation on this, and there's been a big deal. And I'm going to be switching to a few tabs here in a moment just to show you how big this really is. But before that, like I said earlier, MJ Capital Funding, it's an MCA business that helps assist business owners with their short-term capital needs. And if you didn't know what a merchant cash advance is, it's where you get deducted a future percentage of your credit card receivables or sales or profits, however you want to say that. So what happens is these lenders, they give you fast capital. It's short-term financing options. It can be from 4 to 6 months, even a little bit more, 4 months, maybe to a year, depending on what program and company you work with. And you get superior fast funding. The interest rates can be very high, but they're great if you need fast money and you know you're going to turn over and make a profit, and that interest rates won't seem like such a big deal. Okay, and there's more to this. But I'm going to leave it at that. It's called a cash advance, and it's not a loan per se. But I have other videos on like even same-day merchant cash advance companies that are legitimate that I do recommend you do check out. And these are ones that are credible, and I stand behind them. And I'm going to leave more information of that down below in the description if you're interested in merchant cash advances, which I highly recommend you do. One of the best funding options there is out there. As well as other reviews I've made for them. So now let's continue to move forward here. Underneath here says, why do you want to use a merchant cash advance? It's understandable that different types of business owners may face tough times in different industries. Expenses and opportunities may arise unexpectedly where traditional financing may not be sufficient. For this alternative reason, you may want to turn to a merchant cash advance company. And it's a great way to get funding options. So this article over here more or less explains what we've already talked about. So MJ Capital Funding, a business based in Pompano Beach, Florida, claimed to use investor money to make merchant cash advance loans, has been accused by the SEC of operating as a Ponzi scheme. And here it just kind of goes a little bit into the people's names. And then, you know, right here it says at least 20 million of new investor money was used to pay existing investors, which is considered a Ponzi scheme by definition. We went over that earlier. And the SEC compliant also alleges that $27.4 million of investor money was misused by making payments to sales agents who promoted the investments and by making payments to other entities. So being like a referral agent, business loan broker agent, one of those. Okay. So the SEC's complaint was filed in federal court in the Southern District of Florida on August 9th, 2021, and was unsealed on August 13th. So just a few days thereafter. The defendants are charged with violating registration and anti-fraud provisions of federal secured laws. The court granted emergency relief, and the complaint seeks injunctions, disgorgement, prejudgment, interest, and civil penalty. Okay, so this is by no means a company you want to be partnership with, and you really can't anymore because of what's happened now. And you can see the redirect as we went over on this side. And I'm going to get into some of the things on Reddit happening here so you can see. But more or less, this article just explains everything I've already said earlier. And then we can see a little bit more here. So similar information to what we just went over. And then things that are happening on Reddit, if you've maybe looked in there yourself, just people saying, you know, what are these reviews about? Are they credible? Anybody have any reviews on this investment opportunity? I thought I would contribute to your understanding of how this process will play out. I have scanned this entire thread and haven't seen this important process mentioned yet, which all investors technically aren't investors, but whatever, should consider. If you are owed money, please read this. No need to create discords, etc. This is all you need. So it's just really going over what's happening with the investment side of things, secured claimants, which it seems like this company did not have much of. So this is a positive, I guess, that is not you guys. 2 priority claimants compromised of the below. Claims that occur in the ordinary course of business after an involuntary petition is filled. SEC fines up to $500,000 for a business and up to $100,000 for an individual. And just some of the repercussions of all this. Now, if there is not enough money to pay all the creditors will share a loss pro rata, and just a few things that happen on like the investment side of things, which we won't go too in deep for. But one person says here, I invest with them and know others who invest with them as well. They're able to pay you back 10% because of the high interest rates they charge when they loan out to independent contractors. So when these companies pay the interest monthly, the purchasers are able to make their 10% as residual income. It's working for me and others as well. Come to find out, it's not the best solution. So that's pretty much everything that rounds up what's happening with MCA Capital Funding. If you had any questions and concerns about it. But now let me show you a great solution if you are looking for a merchant cash advance. And this one particularly is for non-startup companies. So if you say, let's say have 4+ months in business, even 6+ months in business, you can get up to 25,000 same day instant approval, no interest rates. It's calculated on total payback amount through a company called Breezy Advance. Okay. And they're one of the leading merchant cash advance companies. Legit here. Okay. This is not fraud. This is not a Ponzi scheme, pyramid, whatever. They're not operating underneath any of that. I've had great experiences with them, working with them, and they really help out us as small business owners get the funding we need. As well as I've been able to help you and as many of other people understand how this works and get the right type of funding for them. Okay, so providing capital to thousands of entrepreneurs in all 50 states and business owners, and MCA is an agreement to exchange your future business revenue for an upfront amount of cash advanced to you immediately. It's kind of as I explained earlier, how it works: get approved, get funded, pay and draw. So they've partnered with a company called David Allen Capital. So Breezy Advance is the merchant cash advance company that's partnered with them here with David Allen, who can get you up to $2 million in fast funding. Okay, they even do things like payment processing, customer financing, and more solutions out there like healthcare, telecom. So quick funding up to $2 million. When the big banks tell you no, you can't reach deeper into your savings, and you can't turn for friends and family's help anymore. David Allen Capital is here. But where Breezy Advance partners with David Allen Capital, that's underneath their Bank Breezy program. So Bank Breezy, it's up to $25K, instant approval, same day funding. David Allen Capital is the up to $2 million. So it's the primary company, David Allen Capital, and then there's a branch called Bank Breezy two different services, one for up to 2 million and this one here up to 25,000 same day instant approval. And if that's something that interests you and you are not a startup, then all you would need is something like 5,000 plus monthly bank revenue, business checking account, six months in business, 450 plus credit score. All industries are included. Payment history earns you more. Receive funds again, add-on funds available. Get a personalized account manager, no hard credit inquiries, transparent terms, no collateral is required, accept approval amounts, link online banking, review approval terms, sign agreement online, receive funds. Okay, so and I have a separate video for Bank Breezy and Biddy Advance down below. I have post reviews as well, so you can access those. And I'm also going to have one for David Allen Capital, up to 2 million. You can view down below. And again, these are for non-startups at the time of me making this video. Maybe that'll change later on, and you can come back and they will be as for startups. But if they don't, there are other startup funding solutions I'll leave down below in the description for you to go ahead and check out that are very superior. My recommendations, what you should do, the different options if you are getting just started and you have no cash flow, maybe you have a little bit and you still want a merchant cash advance, what are the options there, and all the other types of funding solutions. So that wraps up this video. Hopefully you enjoyed learning about what's been happening with MJ Capital funding, with the SEC getting involved. It's been a Ponzi scheme and this whole new investor money into the merchant cash advance loans, and these people taking it around, paying off existing investors, and the way that people are receiving their funds is inappropriate. So if you wish to learn more about merchant cash advances and other types of funding options for you, make sure you look in the description. And you can also pick up my free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist, which will help you see all the steps in specific detail, what you need before walking in and setting up an application and ensuring that you can actually get approved instead of wasting all this time and energy getting through the whole process only to find out you were disapproved, and those headaches that cause that. So if you wish to learn more, go ahead and look for that down below. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them for me. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Click the bell notification icon so you don't miss a single future video I'll be coming out with all your funding options, merchant cash advances, and so much more. All right. Thank you for listening.